So as we start exploring division, there are some skills that you use in multiplication, which you're still going to use now. What do you call numbers that are related again, that are similar? Remember that R and the S we did in the other screencast? Close. Compatible. That's all right, Sammy. That was good. Excellent. Excellent. And what else? They're compatible, and that means that the numbers are. Similar. So, guys, I got a 253 times 4. How many of you think that's a mental math problem? Oh, come on. Take a leap of faith here. Let's split 253. Let's come up with some compatible numbers that our brains can work with. If you were to take this 253, and separate it so that you can multiply one part by the 4 and the other number by the 4, what if you? We've broken numbers apart before. How can you do this? There's more than one answer here, folks. Give me one minute. 200 and then 53. I got something different. I have something that's possibly easier. Imagine that. I have a good idea. Come on. Come on, guys. Cameron. Yep. Yep. Because 250, even though it's a big number, it's 25. So, guys, I'm going to put the 250 here, and I'm going to put the 3 here. So what's 250 times 4? You know, get rid of that 0. Say to yourself, 25 times 4, and then that's 0. So what would you get, Josh? Yes, you would. And what's 3 times 4? Here you go. And so the answer is 1,012. Okay? Imagine you just multiplied a 3-digit number by a single-digit number using mathematics. Okay? That's important. Okay? That's a real important and a real valuable skill. Does anybody remember what the property was here? Yes. Yeah, what you're doing is that when you're distributing numbers, what you're doing is that you use that word, Cameron, splitting apart, giving out. Okay? Now, estimation. You guys did well on the quiz. So what is the goal of estimation? You're trying to get a number that has lots of ones. Okay, you know me, it shouldn't be just one. You've got a 4-digit number. You need like a bunch of them. You know? What are we looking for? The Cameron again? 0. That's a 0. So guys, 253, round it for me. What do you make it? Yes. 300. What do you do with the 4? Is there a need? Do we have a need to change that 4 right now? No. Boys and girls, if you have a single digit, unless the instructions read round it to the nearest 10, unless it says that, you don't touch it. Oh, by the way, what is 4 rounded to the nearest 10? I don't think I've seen that on the test out there, but I think that's a pretty good question. What is 4 rounded to the nearest 10? Say? Yeah. You're like, is that possible? Yes, it is. 5 to the side, 4 to the floor. 4 rounded to the nearest 10 is 0. Anyway, I just wanted to know that. But now that we've used mental math here, guys, what's 300 times 4? Yes. Exactly. If you check the work, you identify the basic fact, and you add 0. So boys and girls, in 5th grade, we work with larger numbers in using the division algorithm. Right now, what we have here as an example is a 4-digit dividend, and we have a single-digit divisor. let's take a look at the steps. First of all, we really want to use mental math as much as you can. And again, division is all about what skill? What is it? Come on, guys. Multiplication. Which means you need to know your times tables. So, first step is, you need to estimate the closest to your head. And before, what were the two numbers we did in the sample? Remember what they were? What were they? The donuts? What were they? Yeah. What were they? Yeah. Yeah. Say it. 471. All right, so I got to estimate. 4 and 71. 4 goes into 71. I know it's 4 goes into 7. How many times 2? No, it's too high. It's got to be 4 goes into 7. Compatible. So it's only the 1. Okay, you're estimating. You're playing with those numbers in your head. The next thing you're doing is you're using compatible numbers to divide. R, S. What are the two words? Related. Similar. And then, of course, you got the answer key to your own homework. You don't need me to check your homework because when you're done, what are you doing? With the quotient, the divisor. What are you doing with those two numbers? Cameron? Good. And the remainder, which may or may not exist, sometimes there is a 1. But if there is 1, Cameron again? You're adding. Okay? So let's take a look at this problem here. Let's see what's going on. All right? So this person took 1,266 and just said to himself, I need to round it. Okay? Now, and I need to find compatible numbers here. Now, here's what I see. I see a 6. It's really important. And I say to myself, the 6 going to 1. What's the answer to that question? So now, I need to say, does 6 go into 12? What do you think the answer is? 2. Yes, and it's 2. Okay? But if you're thinking about that 4-digit number in your head, what happens to those two 6s? Those numbers just do what? I'll use the word poof. The magicians make things disappear. And you're blocking it out of your head. You're blocking out those numbers, and you're only focusing on the first 2, or however many numbers you need. And in this case, I think 6 goes into 1,266 about how many times? What did we just do? We came up with a what? Compatible number, and we found an louder.
Estimate.
An estimate. So, the standard algorithm we've gone over. Now let's do the estimation the way we did before. Somebody round 1,266. You guys are going to be very surprised to see what we're going to do today, because we're breaking a rule that we use in multiplication. What am I going to round this to for division? And tell me how it's different than before when we were doing multiplication. Yes. Yeah. How many of you were going to say, well, I'm not going to say it. I'm going to put 1,200 divided by 6. But before, if I said to you, round 1,266, what would you round it to? You remember? What would I have you do? Yeah.
You would make a round to 1,000.
I would. Somebody tell me why I can't. Somebody tell me why. I'm going to put an X over this and say wrong. Sammy? Thank you. This number isn't, and so don't call it out, this number is not C, the word C, with 6. 1,000, 1,000 is not C with 6. Sammy? Compatible. Okay? So now, guys, before with multiplication, I said get all the zeros in the world you possibly can. In division, you have to think about your times tables and you have to think about compatible numbers. Okay? And that's where the difference lies. This is going to be in the screencast for you to look at tonight. Okay? Let's take a look at this problem here. 757 divided by 4. Okay? Take a look at what they are rounding 757 to and tell me why. What?
All the numbers there, like you said, when you round, like 5 and up goes to like higher, and all the numbers there are higher than 4, so it makes it go to 800.
What do we know about 8 and 4? They are what? What are they? Right. And so if I say to myself, does 4 go into 7? In my head I could say, well, it's kind of like 8, but it's a little less, so it's only going to be the number 1. And it's the rounding that you're doing in your head that's really very important. What is this an example of over here in the third column? Once again, what is that? Yes? Good. Excellent. What's this? What do you see now? You know, we did have PEMDAS before, but now we have DMS. I'll give you, part of your homework tonight is to come up with a mnemonic device, come up with some words that can sort of replace the letters here. Anyway, yes. Yes.
The first one is division.
Okay.
The second one is multiplication.
Yep.
The third one is subtraction. And the last one is breakdown.
Subtraction, and then bring down whatever the number is. That's in the next place guide. Excellent. Boys and girls, we're just going to do one problem in class. But you're going to first give me an estimate. And then, to the right, you're going to give me the actual division algorithm. You need to look at the 6 and these numbers here and say to yourself, thinking about your times tables, what is this number going to get rounded to? When you're done, you could write the numbers below it, as you did in multiplication. Here, algorithm. And then, what is this here? What were those 4 letters again? Who wants to give them to me? Good. Okay, do the first one. Go. Okay. So, boys and girls, the 6 go into 5. What is the answer to that? Well, we know it goes into 51 because it's bigger. Now let's use our times tables. 6 goes into what number that is not higher than 51? You start for 6 times 3, 6 times 5, 6 times 6, and you keep going, and you keep going, and you keep going. Safe.
The highest number it could get to would be 48, so
Okay.
6 times 8.
All right. So here's the thing. 6 times, let's just say in your head you were doing it. 6 times 6 is 360. That's still a little bit low. And then you would maybe do 6 times 7. What's that? Right? Still too low. Let's do 6 times 8. What is that? 6 times 9.
54.
So we know right now that the number that's the closest estimate is as, who gave you the answer to that? Say, he's accurate. This would have been too large. This would have been too big. You really can't use it. So the estimate here is basically 8. Now, somebody tell me where I put the 8. I mean, your teacher should have taught you this last year, but I'm making sure I'm including it in the screencast. Okay? Yes.
Because you did 51, and you put it, and you put it above 1.
Awesome. Awesome. 8, you might try this. How many of you remember the smiley face they use in multiplication? Okay. In division, I say to myself, does 6 go into 5? The answer is no. Put a little X mark there. Just put an X mark there. That's all. And so the answer is 80. How many of you got 80 as your estimate? Okay. Did somebody get anything different? Let's see what you got. Yeah.
Well, I was
You were not here for that, so you're going to watch the screencast tonight and do exactly what we're doing here.
but I rounded 550 to 600.
Okay, now, let's take a look at the other option. Somebody did this. And she got 100. Is that okay? Yes. Which one is a more accurate estimate? What's closer to the actual product? Well, let's test it out. I don't know. Maybe you're right. Maybe, watch this. 6 times 10 equals 60. You know what I'm saying? Or 6 times 100 is 600. And I'm going to circle this in blue. But let's see what's closer. I think we already know. 480 is closer to 513. 600 is further away. Now let's use the algorithm. You ready? 6 goes into 5 how many times? 0. So what do I put up here? A little
I
X.
put a 0.
Okay. What's the number we're using? I think we know that. Number? What are we using right now? Not the estimation. We're using the standard
Algorithm.
We did the divide. Now we're going to multiply the 8 times 6, and what do you get? Good. And we did the multiply. And now what are we going to do? Subtract. 3. What do we want to be? Good. 6 goes into 33?
5.
Good. 6 times 5.
30.
Subtract.
33.
What am I going to do in this column? What am I going to do? I'll use blue markers so that it really stands out. Cameron?
85 times 6. And then when you get your answer, add 3.
Good. And now I could take my black pen in doing the homework, and I could say to myself, I got 513 as my product, and the dividend is also 513, and that means my work was accurate. My work is correct. All right? So this is what our focus will be for the next 2 weeks, guys. In fact, we're going to be doing 5-digit dividends by 2-digit divisors in about 2 weeks. But the steps are all the same. Right? Good job.